release webinar. These are the versions that we are currently on that we have just released this week. And Chuck is going to walk us through some of the student manager changes, and Stein will give us a little preview of what's new in ACEweb. So Chuck, do you want to take it from here and talk a little bit about what's new in Manager?
Right. Well, a couple of things that we want to cover is stamp credit, and I'm actually going to need to, there's a new function, and this actually we need to give a shout out to Mary Corley at Tri-County. Mary was one of our ACEware aces this spring at the conference, was honored. They do a lot with certificates, and they're using Credential. They wanted to know, and by way of getting folks up to snuff here, let me show you again when I talk about credentials. Oh, sorry about that. Let's, all right, there we go. So when we're talking about credentials, on the name record, we have added credentials really for a couple of 3 years now. But basically, it allows you to store other detail about that individual. And as we talk about certificate programs, and I've talked with actually a couple of schools in the Carolinas about this, one of the issue is trying to figure out how to record a completion of a certificate or a credential. And so one of the things Mary was saying, well, it'd be nice if we automatically stamp a credential to everybody in the class or to everybody who meets a certain number of classes. And we said, well, we build functions for that, and Matthew and I put together a new function called stampcred. And I'm going to go ahead and bring up the help guide just to kind of show you where we are with that. So on the new help guide, the stampcred function basically allows you to put a credential record automatically in a stamp val. If any of you have used the stamp functions, concert or print cert, these are functions that will automatically stamp data in a registration record. Well, stampcred allows you to automatically stamp data in a credential. So here was one I had done earlier when I was testing the system. So I'm going to show you how we're going to use that with the certificate wizard. And again, if we are going to talk, is it November that we're going to talk about certificates, I think, Sharon?
That's correct, in November.
All right, November. So we're going to go into transcripts. And the assumption here behind this certificate program at ACEware University is that you must take a certain number of classes in one area in order to earn a certificate of some valor of whatever you've put together as a package. We have built a wizard that we put in transcripts. That's called Certificate Wizard, called the Certificate Wizard. And we've added now this stampcred function on it. And we're going to modify so you can actually see what this looks like. When you do that, you're going to, it's all based on grouping codes. So, you know, you use grouping codes to put your classes into various categories on the website. And you can either use the same grouping codes or create a different set of grouping codes to identify what courses are qualifying courses in the certificate X or Y or Z. So the query you're going to generally use when you do this for certificate completion is grouping code. And we're going to pick the grouping code crafts. So if you take 3 or more courses in crafts, we'll give you a certificate. All right, so we're going through the transcript report. We're going to pick our certificate wizard. This is the certificate wizard. Now I'm going to ask you to raise your hand if this is the first time you have ever seen this thing. Sharon, I don't have a good view of the students, or I guess there you go. Raise your hand if you have ever seen this before. And I am trying to widen my screen.
I see a good number of them. I see a good number of them.
Good. All right. So when you use a certificate or a grouping code, it'll ask you to, again, because you could, in theory, use multiple grouping codes. It'll say, pick which grouping codes you want to count. So I'm going to pick our craft one, and I'm going to say, I want everybody who has taken 3 or more classes. Now, you can actually do more variations. We'll skip that. And again, there is actually an option to have required courses and secondary courses, elective courses, which is a 2-tier search. We're not going to go into there. And there is now a new feature that says skip names if they already have the credential in the area that they're looking for. And we're not going to get into that right now. So we'll just leave that alone. We want every student who has taken 3 or more courses coded with this particular grouping code. So we run the report for registrations. 1 student met the requirement. So let's look at our student. Bada bing, it's Michael Boyd. Michael has taken 4 courses. He must love intermediate crochet. He's enrolled in the same one every time. Intermediate, you'd think he'd kind of move on to advanced, but anyway. All right, so here is the code that you put in order to be able to call the certificate. Just do it, calling the certwiz function. And the output example, and actually it's easier to see if you let me just do this with fonts. Narrow, bold, 12. There we go. You can see down in kind of the fuzz down at the bottom, stampcred. And again, you can go to the function help sheet, and it'll tell you what to type in there. I'm using the date function to indicate that I want to date stamp it today's date, and I'm going to give it a 1-year expiration date. So I'm going to use a date plus 365. That's a little trick for reporting. All right, we have 1 person who has the certificate. No, we haven't made any changes. Here's the guy. We close the report, and now it's going to tell us, if you continue, all names in this report, and that would be everybody who met the number of courses taken we required, is going to get the credential of stampcred, typecred, dated this date. Hit the OK button, 1 credential added, bada boom. Now you have to trust me that I hadn't done this ahead of time, but we should be able to go to Michael Boyd, go to his credential, and vavoom. Here is that credential code that we did just 2 seconds ago. And if that was 1 student, it could have been 50 students that met the requirement. It would have stamped that to their name. So anyway, that is actually a long review of stampcred, but we're excited about it. I think it's going to have lots of functionality and hopefully get you guys to using stampcred. Sharon, any questions popping up? Otherwise,
I'm not seeing any questions right now.
Matthew, if you don't mind, I'll continue with a couple of the other new goodies. One was a longer report name when you are doing report maintenance. So under tools, reports, rename reports, activate, deactivate reports. In the conference release, we lengthened the report name from 35 characters to 50 characters. And however, we had not yet widened the width of this particular field. So this field is now wider. And I'm going to actually, this is the old version. So here's the old version. I'll even show you a picture here. We'll snip this so we can actually show you a side by. That's the old. I'm going to actually close out of this because I had a different report running for, here's the new one. Version 54, brand new one that Matthew has released. So now let's look at the tool. That was a sneaky report before and after. Now there is the new value, and I can't quite, I was trying to get fancy here. Old value, new value. but, well, there it is, underneath each other. So we've added the extra space, so you now have all 50 characters of that report title to play with. The other thing that we did, and this was something that maybe other people haven't been had an issue, but I say if I wanted to do course enrollment is greater than, I said, well, I want to edit that report because I want to edit that query and I want to add and arrange the dates, that when you do edit the title, when you do rename, I said edit. When you do rename, reg note, where was I at? Course number, course enrollment greater than. When you want to rename that title, it would show you the old title at the top, but it would leave the area down here blank, and you'd have to retype the old title. My experience is that typically what you're going to do is and begin date in a range. You're adding to an existing query, and so why do we have to retype what you already know up above? So anyway, that is the other change. Trying to think, Sharon, with the other ones on the list. Those are the three. Was there a fourth one?
Those were the three.
Those are it. All right. Matthew, are you listening in? Was there anything else you'd want to highlight, the general purpose kind of things on 54?
Nope, you got it. I'm wondering why I scrambled to get onto the webinar at all.
They come back from a leisurely lunch. Okay, all right. Well, we always like Matthew there for backup. He saves us when we get into deep water. Sharon, if you want, I think we can move on to Stein if he's ready and talk about some ACEweb.
I think you can turn this over to Stein. While you're doing that, we'll share with everybody that this is a new feature for our existing Quick Pick module. And I'll let Stein kind of give a short demo of that.
I don't think I have the control panel for who gets to be presenter. Oh, here we are, Steph. Never mind. Stein, I will make you the oh, you already got it. Sharon and I are co-presenters, and so we
fight over the controls, don't we?
Okay, are you seeing my screen with the ACEweb 3.5 release?
We are, Stein. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I just thought I'd mention the release that just came out. Really, the changes are not other than the Quick Pick thing. Well, the changes are all kind of specialized things, including Quick Pick, but a lot of these have to do with the staff utilities for viewing and editing the INI files and so forth, but and finding error messages, things that will come in handy if we have to do some troubleshooting. One item that was the most work on my part was we added a new payment service from Nelnet called QuickPay, and we now support that, but unless you're unhappy with your current payment service, that probably isn't of a lot of interest either. So I'll go on to the feature that we added to the Quick Pick page, and if some of you are using Quick Pick, this may be of interest. If you're not using Quick Pick, you may want to, this will serve as a bit of a reminder demo of the Quick Pick module, which allows basically selecting one user to go in and with one page, one form, select multiple courses. And we find it customers who have, say, the OLLI programs where they have users who like to come in, buy their OLLI membership, and then sign up for a whole semester's worth of courses, that it's a very helpful feature for them. But the specific issue we had a request to use coupon discounts, which of course we've allowed in our regular sign-up routines, registration routines, that you can attach a coupon code and give the user a discount if they happen to have that code. And so you can send out special emails and say, hey, sign up and use this code and get a discount and so forth. So on the Quick Pick page, well, first we need to log in, and we now have a couple of membership options here, and the coupons only work with the membership codes, the courses themselves. You can't, we don't have a way to attach coupons on the possibly hundreds of courses of regular courses that they may be able to sign up with then. But on the membership side, you can, if it is, the setup is pretty simple. This is the Quick Pick Boxes configuration file, which if you have Quick Pick, your tech will tell you how to set these up. And you just have to add this one line, coupon code equals true. And you also, of course, need a coupon fee added to that course, just as you would for regular coupons. So if you set that up, then when the user selects the membership course in question, they can get an additional box that allows them then to type in that coupon code. And if they just try to guess at the coupon code, it won't work. It will tell them it's an invalid code. But if they happen to know the highly secret code, there they have it. And they now have the code is in effect. One kind of a drawback that the coding was very complicated, and we wanted to get this feature out. So currently, the amount due does not reflect the coupon discount. It says it will be calculated at checkout. So let's go to checkout and see if it really happens. And indeed, we can see here the $125 fee is now $115, and it now tells them that includes their $10 coupon discount. So basically that is it. If you go back to, if you want to go back, you can also then add additional, this is the Quick Pick feature where now that you're a Ollie member or whatever membership you have, you can add, I don't know, I just have a few courses here, but you could go in and, as I said, those users who use, customers who use it will have typically dozens of courses listed down here that the user can select from. And let's see, we'll go with the, okay, this one is an unfortunate demo. It's a demo for a different set of membership courses, so that one doesn't work. Let's select these two. You'll notice we now have our, if we proceed to checkout, you'll see that the membership is on there and the courses that we selected are listed. And so that's the Quick Pick page. And this line here is the Quick Pick page with coupons. And basically that's what I've got.
Very good, very good. Sharon, any questions? Everybody doing okay? Again, I don't see a lot of people with membership programs in here, but again, that Quick Pick, again, if you've got people or course programs where you might have a person when they log on register for 2, 3, 4, 5, whether or not they're you know, a membership base or not, you can certainly, can you use this if you don't have memberships and all you're doing is just selling classes, Stein, or
yes, you can
just present a bunch of classes in there?
Set up those course categories that you saw there. I had the arts courses and the Monday morning courses and so forth. If you set up, you have to apply it to the whole category, but if you set the category membership to none, then anybody can take those courses. So
right,
and you
right.
can set
So
up
there
all your
wouldn't
courses
be
that way. And
I guess what I'm saying is, could you hide the membership tab? You've got kind of the section the membership section part. You could hide that if you just wanted to display open courses. Let people
I think if you leave the membership off of the
courses,
the items here where membership is true, you just don't put that whole section in, and then you won't see it.
You can hide that. Okay. Well, I was thinking that there's a way. Most everybody who is using this now does take advantage of that membership option, and it's an OSHA type if you're familiar with OSHA. So Stein, thank you. This is going to be nice. We keep again, Stein, and thanks to suggestions from you guys as users, we keep adding functionality to this. So very good. Well, Sharon, I think that kind of wraps up the new goodies, unless Matthew, you have any other thoughts? Or I'm trying to think if no, I guess if Cheryl or Jason's on the phone, if they have anything to add.
I think that covers the new features for August, but I do want to remind everyone about our August webinar that's coming up on the 24th here. Hopefully you can see my screen shortly here. You seeing my screen now? Thursday, August the 24th. This topic is also as a result of things we heard in conference. Lots of questions about AW pendings, and so we're going to devote an entire webinar to this, where Jason will walk us through exactly what AW pending means and what causes them, how your INI settings affect those payments, how you can find them, work with them, and are there any ways to reduce those? So he'll be giving us some tips and tricks on this topic as a result of your questions. So don't forget you can register for that online, and you can expect to see a reminder email before the weekend about this one. Chuck, anything else that you have?
I think we're good. Let's let everybody get back to work. And again, for those of you who are astronomers, remember the 100-year lunar solar eclipse is happening next Monday. So, and again,
a week from Monday. You're really trying to get this.
Week
yeah,
sorry.
You got these right. Yeah.
I was jumping ahead. And so, and as Stein would tell you, make sure you wear the proper eye care. We don't want people coming out here with some eye problems. So, very good. Sharon, thanks for putting this together. Stein and Matthew, thanks
for all the work. Thanks for joining us today, everyone.
See you the 20th. Bye-bye.
Okay.